Hi, I'm Paul Grimm. Well, what would happen if the court issued its ruling and said what the law was, and the parties to the lawsuit decided to ignore it? Would that be possible? What would happen if it was? Well, that is something which would invite anyone who disagreed with a court ruling to simply ignore it, and that means that no one's rights or liberties would be free. If a person is sued for breach of contract and told they have to pay money to someone else and they ignored it, then the person who received the money award from the court would have no right to enforce their contract. This applies not only to disputes among private individuals, but disputes where the court is called upon to decide whether a branch of government has passed an act or taken an action which is beyond their legal authority. This was addressed recently in a year-end report by Chief Justice John Roberts, where he talked about what would happen if people or government institutions ignored court orders. Here is what he said. Within the past few years, however, elected officials from across the political spectrum have raised the specter of open disregard for federal court rulings. These dangerous suggestions, however, must be soundly rejected. In other words, every individual and government organization has a duty to comply with court orders, not because judges are always right, but because without that, none of our freedoms and liberties would be safe.